Fellow Ghanaians, good morning. Fellow Ghanaians, today we must confront a case that goes directly to the heart of why our so-called fight against corruption remains half-hearted and incomplete. It is this case of Ken Ofori-Atta, the former finance minister, and his ongoing delay in returning to Ghana to face serious corruption investigations, which is all nothing less than a national embarrassment. It has become a test of our institutions and a vivid illustration of how the powerful can use the time, privilege, and geography to evade accountability, while the ordinary citizen goes to jail for far smaller offenses. The Office of the Special Prosecutor opened investigations into Ofori-Atta in early 2025 after he had failed to appear for questioning in connection with 5 high-profile deals, including the contract between GRA and Strategic Mobilisation Ghana, the termination of the contract between ECG and Beijing Xiao Cheng Technology, the procurement of 307 ambulances via the Ministry of Health, the abandoned National Cathedral project, and alleged misuse of tax-refund accounts. All of them major cases said to have caused financial loss to the state. The OSP since then declared him a wanted person, in fact, in February 2025. And redeclared him a fugitive in June 2025 when he failed to appear again, which then triggered an Interpol red notice. Ghana has a well-established extradition treaty with the United States of America. And over the years, in fact, in this year alone, we have seen Ghanaians accused of internet fraud, money laundering, and other transnational crimes extradited to the US and made to face justice. So the big question is, why is Ken Ofori-Atta still walking free in the US, moving about, delaying his return, while the OSP publicly laments his absence and threatens to re-enter him every now and then onto the wanted list? The optics are damaging, fellow Ghanaians, and the message to the citizenry appears to be that accountability is only reserved for the powerful, and the powerless can always be prosecuted, but the powerful can always try and evade. We have to be clear on some of these issues. The OSP, in a statement, then warned that Mr. Ofori-Atta will be re-entered on the wanted list if he failed to return to Ghana by 2nd June of this year. In fact, that was before he had agreed with his lawyers that when he finished his medical treatment, he will return. He did not show up. The deadline has since passed, yet Ken Ofori-Atta is not in handcuffs. There's not immediate extradition, no dramatic arrest. Instead, we watch on a theater of delay. Fellow Ghanaians, our fellow Ghanaian citizens who commit petty offenses do not get the luxury of what Ken Ofori-Atta has been getting. People who have to await bail for months cannot imagine such luxury of time. This is unacceptable for 3 fundamental reasons. First, the rule of law demands that no one is above the law. No one is above investigation or prosecution, regardless of their title, their status, or location. Our Constitution and the OSP's own laws emphasize this principle. Yet the former finance minister's physical absence erodes that claim. Then the victim in all of this is the Ghanaian taxpayer who sees deals unravel, state resources evaporating, yet the architects or the enablers are walking free. Is this another one of those theatrical performances you're about to see? That those who treat financial misconduct has become a point for them to evade justice. This is a serious national issue where we must get to the bottom of it. We must not wait for any negotiation, really. We want immediate accountability. Then the precedent that we are setting is dangerous. If our elites believe that geography, delay, and legal wheels will save them, then the next generation will internalize this impunity as a norm. Some will say, well, let's hold on. Let's assume he's genuinely undergoing some medical treatment. Let's assume legal technicalities. Let's assume he has rights too. Fair enough. Rights must be respected. But rights do not equate to you evading accountability. It does not equate to infinite delay. When the OSP demands personal attendance, when an extradition treaty exists, when national funds are at stake, delays must be minimal. Prosecutions must be prompt, and communication must be clear. Fellow Ghanaians, treating a suspect like a VIP patient rather than a suspect undermines justice. Moreover, if the OSP and the Attorney General's Department cannot secure his return, they should immediately shift to the alternative. They must try him in absentia. Many advanced democracies allow prosecution to proceed when suspects abscond and stay abroad. In fact, it's happening in Ghana with Sedina Tamaklo. The evidence should not lull us into some passivity. The Ghanaian public deserves to see a case opened, witnesses heard, evidence recorded, and a judgment made, even if Ken Ofori-Atta cannot physically attend. That is the only way to show that the law, not charisma or office, governs this land. The ongoing delay also reflects poorly on anti-corruption drive. The OSP may publicly say it will re-enter, and in fact, he has re-entered Ken Ofori-Atta onto the wanted list. He said he's requesting an extradition. He has invoked the Interpol red notice. But we have seen similar moves in the past, and they've all evaporated into symbolic gestures. When those accused retreat to safe jurisdictions and nothing happens, then the momentum dies, investigations collapse, they stagnate, and the public trust crumbles. We cannot afford another cycle of spectacle without substance. For every ordinary Ghanaian who has waited 6 months for payroll to process, for every teacher who has labored unpaid, for every trader who has watched corruption ravage their business, the message must be sent that accountability applies equally, and it begins with this case. If this country cannot bring its own former finance minister home to face questions, how can we hope to mount credible prosecution against other elites? In that context, the work of the OSP must be supported, not hindered. We must give them the political cover, resources, and independent authority to pursue this case to its logical outcome. Our role as citizens, fellow Ghanaians, is not to cheerlead partisan outcome, but to demand institutional integrity. We must not allow corrosive politics to turn the fight against corruption into another tool of revenge. Justice must be blind, methodical, and it must get to the point where it is credible. The suspicion that cases are selective or delayed because of who is involved is toxic. And to the government, to the Attorney General, to all of you, the security agencies, time is up. If the treaty with the US allows extradition, activate it. We know it does, so do so now. Make the request publicly, push for provisional arrest, give Interpol all the information they need, and then show us the results. Because if you cannot secure fiscal attendance, then proceed to monitor assets, freeze bank accounts, initiate civil recovery, proceed with trial in absentia. Silence is becoming complicity, and the delay of this conduct is misconduct. Either show you mean business or admit you don't. You have to be clear, fellow Ghanaians. Corruption is hard business. But when some of these things happen, then people begin to lose hope and ability to fight. Because the powerful always fight back. The network of influence, they resist. But that is precisely why the powerful must not be allowed to evade the law. If we cannot bring this former finance minister to face trial, the entire anti-corruption architecture will appear toothless. And when the public sees that the promises to recover all loot apply only to the less connected, they will stop believing. Once belief is gone, so is compliance. Once compliance is gone, impunity reigns. Good morning, fellow Ghanaians.